So what we're doing now, like I said, I got the whole dashboard in the car. I don't know if I showed you guys that, but I will. I gotta show you that. I gotta show you the fuse panel where that's all terminated. I put it all in the car so I can terminate it, get the lengths right on everything, and now I'm in the testing stages. So I've been, like I said, I ran everything to where it's got to go. Nothing's fully loomed. Some stuff's loomed. So obviously you can see all the headlights and running lights are on. The rears aren't on yet. I haven't fully tied into the rear harness yet. Still got to test because, you know, I didn't make a diagram, so I got to test all the wires, see where they go. Heat works, radio works, wipers work, headlights work. The only thing that's not working is my hazard blinkers. Whatever reason, I don't know what the hell I did, it keeps blowing the fuse the second I put power to it. The second I turn on the key, pops the fuse. Obviously that's a short to ground, the power wire shorting out somewhere, I'm exploding the fuse. I really don't see anything. I mean, the harness is from here to here. And nothing else in the car. I mean, besides what comes out to here, but I don't think any of this is, you know, messed up in here. I'll probably start unplugging at things one by one and trying to find where this short is. You can see my fuse panels there. I got flasher relays, and I got a positive post. And what that's going to be is I have this wire from this ignition right here that's going to get tied to that, and that's going to go to the panel, but that's going to go behind the seat. Don't worry about this. It's all apart. I'm going to zip tie this and loom it when I take it back out. But got to figure out what's going on with my hazards here. Why it keeps popping the freaking fuse instantly. So I really don't see any wires or spliced anything. You know, I don't think it's wired wrong. I went over the diagrams. They look to be correct. I don't foresee why it's doing it. I can't find the problem. I'm going to find the problem, but I just don't see it right now. That's the last thing for that. Once I figure that out, I can take this dash back out and loom everything, zip tie it up really nice, get it all done, and that's all one piece, and that gets put to the side and waiting for this to be done. Still got to weld a couple panels in here. We're going to go over Duraglass. We're going to go over body filler, what I use, what I think you should do, my opinion. Not an expert here, but you know, you should be using the two different compounds, putty, this, that, and the third, and we'll get this into shape. I'm not going to go over this whole filling of this engine bay and sanding of this engine bay, but I'll go over enough tips just to get you guys going on it. Alright, I found the problem. Took me about 10 minutes, but I found it. So to help you guys, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to find the problem. Now, when you have a fuse blowing instantly, I mean, literally, I turn the key on, pop, blows it right away. That is an indication of short to ground. That means along your power circuit, it is grounded out somewhere. Now, I know the harness is all new. Everything's new in it. I did it myself. I did it right here. I made sure it was good. I know it wasn't a wire grounded out somewhere. So what I started to do was I started to unplug things one by one. So I unplugged the hazard switch, put a fuse in it, turn the key, pop. Unplug the blinker switch, turn the key, pop. Now, you don't have much left from there. You got your relays. So I unplugged the blinker relay, pop. I plugged the blinker relay back in, unplugged the hazard relay, didn't pop. So I have a problem in this hazard relay. And what I saw was, when I took it out, what I saw was that this relay is all damaged. See that? So I must have damaged this thing somehow, getting it banged around, and I have a feeling that whatever's on the inside of this thing is touching this metal case and grounding out. So I don't really think this can come apart. I'm going to try to take it apart just to see, but I'll go to my local parts store tomorrow and grab one. But I don't think these, I mean, I'm sure they come apart, but I just don't know how. I don't know if this just lip just pulled. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So let's take this thing apart real quick. So I have a feeling The case got pushed in, and it's touching it. I probably have the Ford plastic one around here somewhere. Plastic would be better. I might just buy 2 plastic ones after this. Well, I don't see what's wrong with it. I see a little burn, tiny. It looks like there's like a tiny piece of metal that went over the top here, but I have no idea. I don't see anything inside here. But regardless, this kept blowing the fuse. It's garbage. Time for a new one. I mean, that's the gist of electrical. It's pretty much that simple. I'm not a great teacher when it comes to stuff like this. You know, I'm hands-on, so it's hard for me to explain to you guys in detail this harness and how, you know, to check it. But went over it a little bit. I hope I gave you a little bit of knowledge on how to diagnose an electrical issue. Obviously, a short to ground is just one of many, many electrical issues you can have. But if you build a decent harness and it's quality, you take your time, and like I showed you, use that double-lined adhesive heat shrink. That'll give you a good seal, and it gives you a little bit of strength against stuff pulling apart. Just good wiring practices will lead to better results. Started to think this was my harness having the issue. Kind of glad it was the relay, and I don't have to worry about my wiring. Well, you know, I shouldn't have to worry about my wiring. I'm gonna go look for that Ford plastic one and see if I can put it in and get my blinkers working. And then I just gotta hook it to the taillight harness, which I'm use my power probe for, which is probably one of my favorite tools. If you don't have a power probe, it's probably not a bad idea to buy one. If you don't know what a power probe is, I'm going to show you. So this is a power probe. I can't get to you guys, and Jesus Christ. This is why I didn't really make a wiring diagram, because it's so easy to test. You know, this is running lights. And it just had power, I got my running lights. This is my brake lights. Okay. Running lights, brake lights. What are we left here with? Oh, those are the special lights I put in. I still got a wire. Let's see. More stuff. So what do we got left? We got blinkers left, and we got reverse lights left. So there's your reverse lights. Alright. So this is going to be left and right blinker. Let's see, red. Yep, left blinker, bing, 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 bing. Right blinker, bing, 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 bing. And there you go. Within a minute, I had the whole harness sorted out. I know exactly what everything goes to. They make cheaper version of this. I think this one was a couple $100, but I think you can get some for like $100, or it might be cheaper. I don't know. I bought this thing for 100 years ago, so I don't even remember what these cost anymore. Invaluable tool to have when you're doing electrical, but also be very, very careful with this, because if you put power to the wrong thing, you can fry a lot of crap. I've seen guys fry ECUs in it. Just like that, done, fried an ECU, $1,000 down the drain, boom. So you got to be very careful with it, but it is a great tool to have. Alright guys, so what I decided to do was, this is my taillight harness, and what I decided to do was to put a Deutsch connector on it to run to the back, just so I can unplug it right here and be done. And what I'm using is a DT series 6-pin connector, 16 to 20 gauge. I prefer the solid contacts versus the crimped, or I can't even think of the name of them. These are just so much easier to assemble. I mean, literally, you stick them on. I got these crimpers. They're all from Mako. You know, I'm sure someone else makes them because they don't even see Mako on them. But this is Tool Aid 18880, 14, 16, and 18 gauge closed barrel terminals. And it's literally as simple as sticking it in until it gets past ratchet, and it's done. These are really nice. I have for all the way 22 all the way to 12 gauge, I think. These solid contacts are just such a nicer feature than the regular crimp style ones, where you got to use different style crimpers. These are a much nicer. And what you can do is, what I do sometimes depending on my mood, you just stick that down and in, take your wire, done. All those are already all crimped now. You got your connector, you just want to take your, you know, whatever layout, however the wires fell. I mean, you could do this however you want. I'm not really particularly caring about which wire goes where, so I'm just going to match it to the other side. Push it in until it clicks. Push it in until it clicks. Push it in until it clicks. There you go. Look how much nicer that looks, right? And then don't forget your wedge lock. Done. See how fast that was? Obviously you didn't see me strip the 3 wires and crimp 3 of them, but you saw how easy it was to do those other 3 and do it. And then you just got to do the same on the other side. The other side is going to be a little bit different just because it's, you know, I got to run certain wires certain places, but you get the hint. And that was that. And there you go. There's your connection. I get a lot of mine off ProWire, Amazon. I shop around because these can get really expensive, and I always make sure I get it with closed contacts. Like I said, those are the best. I finished welding up the whole engine bay minus one little spot, which I need to get a filler piece made still. I keep forgetting about it, but I'm going to move on and start getting some filler spread on this thing and start doing the bodywork. The bodywork's the worst part in my opinion. I absolutely hate it. I do this to myself every time. This is probably, I don't know, 15th, 20th engine bay I've shaved, and I hate it every single time. I don't know why I continue to do it myself, but it looks so good in the end. Now, there's a bunch of products you can use. You can go super cheap on this, but like anything else, you get what you pay for. Now, when you're doing filler work on an engine bay, it's going to be thicker in some spots if you didn't do your metal work perfect. If your metal work's perfect, skim coat it and you're great. So these are a couple products that I use. I love Evercoat Rage filler. It seems to sand out. Probably one of the best fillers I've ever used. I used a lot of this on my Integra when I redid that whole car. I love Rage. It's a little bit pricey. There's regular Evercoat, there's Evercoat Rage, and then there's Evercoat Rage Gold. The Rage Gold's super expensive, but I use the Rage. I like it. It's a little expensive, but it sands out nicer than your typical AutoZone body filler with the correct hardener for it. Now, engine bays, I like to use Evercoat Everglass. And what's nice about this is it has short strand fiberglass in it. So it's stronger than regular filler and will resist cracking. I would use this in areas that are going to flex. I mean, the whole front end is going to flex on this, so I'm probably just going to use this the whole bay. This is harder to sand than that because of the filler. So you don't want to put giant heavy coats on it. You want to be easy, nice light coat, sand it out, coat it if you have to, coat it if you have to. Now when I get done sanding it all out, I go over a lot of places in this USC polyester finishing putty. It's called icing, auto body icing. And this is like I can't even, like, the consistency of it, it's really thin and like soupy, and it gets all in them scratches and pinholes that you might have missed that you can't get out without redoing the whole thing. So this is nice to go back over that. I really like this. This is good stuff because you can never seem to get all the scratches out. So you go over this, you know, the sanding scratches. You go over this, and it's just great. About yay much, depending on how big of an area you're doing, obviously. Take your hardener right across the top with it. Nice streak. You don't want to go too much, because then this is going to harden before you even get it on the car. Just mix it all in. The only thing I don't like about the Everglass is the color of it, so you can't really tell when you're fully mixed. The other stuff's like a pink and it turns to a bluish or whatever color. Go over here. glob. It's not hard work, it's just a lot of work. And it sucks. You gotta really like metal work and body filler to enjoy this crap. I don't. I hate it. I can't stand it. So we're gonna let that dry. It's 59 degrees in here. I'm probably gonna fire up the heater and get that to dry. And when that dries, what I'll do is I'll get my, since this is a relatively flat panel, except for, you know, that corner where it's kind of pushed in, you can use your block on it. I gotta buy more sandpaper, but I like this 3M red abrasive 80 grit, and this is the hook it on the back, and I have this really nice block with finger things that help you, and you know, I'll work it in with that, and then I'll fine tune it with some 180 and then go to 400 and smooth it out and then putty over it. And these are more of the blocks that come in that kit, so you get, you know, this will get me down into this seam really well. Alright, where were we? Just put filler on a bunch of spots. I did that and I started sanding it out, and it was it was pretty uneven. So I mixed up a whole batch and had way too much, and I got the strut tower front and side, and this front. This whatever the hell this crap is called, Everglass, is, it sucks to sand. So I use a bunch of different things that I'll show you, and it's mainly for engine bay work because it's tight, it's cramped, it's close quarter. The things I use is, I just picked another batch up because I ran through it all, are these little baby 1-inch sanding discs. You get them on Amazon for like $7 for the whole kit. It even comes with a mandrel, a couple different grits in here, and this is perfect for the really, really tight corners, but you got to be easy with this because you'll leave a low spot wicked fast. So this is like your really, really tight corners where you can't get anything, you know, big in here. So this is very small areas for this. I don't use it all that much, but it does come in handy for a tight area instead of sitting there with your fingertip. Because after a while, especially with this Everglass, you're going to lose this finger and you're going to hate life for like a week after. Then I step it up to a 3-inch DA. I ran out of sanding discs. I got to go get some more. This is a Harbor Freight one. I bought this thing years ago for like $10 when I was doing an engine bay on another car. I've had this thing probably 6 years. This thing works great for the $10 I spent on it. And then I jump up to a 6-inch DA, which, another Harbor Freight special. I'm not spending big money on sanders. I don't do this often enough. This thing is key. This is the one with the vacuum on it, but I don't use that. And it's key for big areas like this. You know, I can rough that in relatively quickly. And you got your 3-inch to get in this corner. So you got your 1-inch, your 3-inch, your 6-inch. And then after that, I go by hand, the hand block. I was using this, told you guys about this DuraBlock, using this. This actually worked really well to get in this pinch weld here, to get that all sanded out. One thing you want to never do on any big open flat areas, use this by hand. Problem is, it doesn't put the pressure evenly. So you got pressure, 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 nothing in the middle. Obviously in some areas, like in this little crease, you're going to have to get in there by hand, but it won't matter because you won't see it laid out across a flat panel. Also a good N99 respirator. This makes a ton of dust. So whatever you don't want covered in dust, you better get covering. I don't really care. I clean the garage so much, there's always dust on everything in here. I just use my air hose and blow it all out. I mean, you could see the car, and I just sanded that top part. I was going to do this in the other side, but I didn't get my lighting up in there, and it's cold over there. We're going to start knocking down the strut tower into shape. have much to show you guys else on this engine bay. It's just monotonous and tedious and sanding and filling and sanding and filling. This strut tower is pretty much done. I only have to touch up a couple of spots. So once you got it formed with 80 grit, I go back over with 180 or 220, 400, and you know, this should be baby smooth. This upper just needs to be hit, get the sand marks out of it. This is all done. I gotta get more filler in here. That's pretty much done. I'm working my way over there, so I gotta do behind the strut towers too, which it's not bad because I really only have to do the seams, but it's still gonna suck. I'm not gonna film it. If you guys want to do something like this, it is a ton of work. It is a lot of time. It plain out sucks. I mean, your whole garage is gonna look like that. This is actually not terrible because I pushed it out last week and I already blew it all off once and cleaned up the whole garage. But prepare to look like Tony Montana freaking sneezed in your garage, because that's exactly what it's going to look like for a while too. Because even after you're all done and you clean it up, you're going to move something, there's going to be more dust and more dust. It just never ends. I probably already have 50 hours into this, and you can see where we're at. I'm probably thinking another 20. It'll probably be done in 20, which isn't 70 hours. It's a lot of work, but for something that literally does nothing except look good. That's the biggest thing with this, and I think that's why I have my biggest problem with this, because it does nothing. It does nothing except look good. So I prefer it. It is what it is. I hate doing it. Every single time I hate doing it, but it looks so much better all shaped. I'm just glad I don't have a full engine bay and it's only from here back. Next is prime it. Good epoxy primer. Sand it. Filler primer. Sand it. Filler primer. Then you know, sand that and you're ready for paint. I got to get the ball moving here. I've had absolutely no motivation the past 3 weeks. I just haven't. I don't know. I haven't wanted to work on it. I work on it for an hour here, an hour there, but I'm in a slump. Once I get this painted and the engine back into it, I think I'll be much happier. But right now, I just feel so lost. I'm sorry about the lack of videos. Like I said, I have no motivation. I've recorded a lot, but it's a lot of monotonous, tedious crap. So excuse me for the videos. It's going to start getting better soon. Once this is painted, we're going to put the motor back together. We're going to do that in a video. We're going to start wiring of the engine back with all the new Holley stuff and the boost control stuff. Making new downpipe and another little trick thing we're going to do. So it's all in time. Like usual, guys, get in your garage. It's wintertime. It's build season. Grab a cold beer, start working on your hot rod, get that thing done. Spring's fast approaching and you don't want to be on your jack stands for another summer while all your friends are out enjoying. Have a good night.